Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my YouTube channel. We have uncovered some breaking news. Did Trump actually admit to campaign finance fraud? What did Trump says about his comeback? Trump trashed Mike Pence's VP pick in 2024? Will Kelly Conway kill Trump's legal defense? Is the GOP an authoritarian party now? Did Cardi B recently got her back tattooed? What do you know about cloud computing? Will the Ukrainian fighting in Mariupol surrender? Can the battle for Kyiv be bloody? Is China blaming NATO for the war in Ukraine? Please stay tuned for the details. First, national news. During a rally in North Carolina, when Donald Trump made the latest announcement of admitting to violating campaign finance laws, Trump said this, quote, "We're going to take back the Senate and we are going to take back America and take back that beautiful, beautiful White House, in 2024, unquote. What Donald Trump is doing here is, he is breaking campaign finance laws. The Democratic super PAC is saying the same thing. That is why they have just filed a complaint about Trump's violation. This is what the complaint said, quote, "The fact that Trump is raising money and spending money to support a presidential bid while he has not formally declaring one." The complaint uses Mr. Trump's own words, quote, "I know what I'm going to do, but we're not supposed to be talking about it yet from the standpoint of campaign finance laws," unquote. This is a massive violation of campaign finance laws Trump has just admitted to doing. The Democratic super PAC complaint alleges that Donald Trump's Vay America PAC continuously raised over $0 million per week and spends over $100,000 per week on advertising for Trump on Facebook alone. When Trump is on his golf course playing golf, he will introduce himself as the, quote, 45th and 47th President of the United States. Speaking at a conservative political action conference last month, Trump said he was doing it again for the third time. Trump was referring to his wife Melania as the future First Lady, the complaint concluded. Here is the reason why Trump can be indicted for violating campaign finance laws. Federal rules requires those who raise or spend more than $5,000 in support of a presidential campaign to register with the Federal Election Commission. Such a filing would set of restrictions on how he could raise and spend campaign money, including existing war chest. In another news, Donald Trump was interviewed at his Mar-a-Lago residence where he rules out picking Mike Pence as his running mate if he runs in 2024. This is what Trump said about Pence, quote, "I don't think the people would accept it," unquote. Trump told the reporter that he and Pence had a good relationship but he hasn't spoken to Pence for a long time. Do you know why Trump won't pick Mike Pence as his running mate? Well, let's see. We think since Pence refused to overturn the 2020 election, he could do it again in 2024 if Trump's lost. So, Trump is still fooling his supporters about his comeback. Donald Trump can't run for office again because he violated Article 14, Section 3 of the United States Constitution when he tried to overthrow the government on January 6, while he was still in office. Do you know Trump is still acting like a president at Mar-a-Lago? Why is Trump's supporters making donation he asked for to assist him pay for the repair of his private plane? Well, the answer is quite simple. Donald Trump is a con artist who always begging for money. Do you know he is a billionaire? The question is, Trump doesn't want to use his own money to have his plane fixed. He wants your money to pay for repair expenses on his private jet. Trump has totally turned the Republican Party into an authoritarian cult party. They have no respect for the rule of law, the Constitution, or the American people. What the party care about is power, money, lies, conspiracy theory, division and the destruction of a democratic form of government. The party have no plan but the same old, which is tax credits for the corporations, and the rich, critical race theory and leaving the rest of the country to fend for themselves. We all know that the DOJ is investigating Trump's taking away classified documents from the White House and secretly hid them at his Mar-a-Lago residence to hide his crimes he committed while in office. Now, here is Trump's legal defense. First, if he truly believed in his heart that the election was stolen, and second, if Trump genuinely believed that the whole election was fraudulent and can prove it, his actions at that time could be considered legitimate by law. However, the only person that holds the key to putting Donald Trump behind bars is this woman, Kelly Conway. Kelly Conway was a top advisor to Donald Trump working in the White House. We now know that Conway personally, repeatedly and emphatically explained to Trump that he lost the 2020 presidential election. She and others told him clearly and simply that he didn't win. Therefore, if the January 6 Select Committee, who is investigating the Capitol riot of January 6, 2021, make a recommendation to the Justice Department that Donald Trump committed a crime, he will be indicted by the DOJ. Trump's legal defense is dead because he was told by multiple people working in his government, including former Attorney General William Barr, that he lost the election. Trump knew that he lost, but he still decided to stage a coup to overthrow the government, which is a federal crime. If asked to testify, do you think Kelly Conway will flop on Trump now he's no longer president? In today's celebrity news, Cardi B posted this photo recently on Instagram showing off her beautiful back tattoo. The tat got a lot of likes from her million of Instagram followers. Now for some international news, the Russian military has given the soldiers of Ukraine fighting the Russian in Mariupol an ultimatum to surrender because the city is under siege by the Russian forces. The Russians are using this plane that is loaded with hypersonic missile to bomb and destroy the city. They are mostly killing innocent children and civilians. But the Ukrainian soldiers said that they will fight to the end and there will be no surrender. What we are looking at is that the battle for the seat of the government in Kyiv will be gloomy and bloody. What we are looking at in Kyiv would dwarf anything we've seen since World War II, said David Kilcullen, a retired lieutenant colonel in the Australian Army who has extensively studied urban combat. If they really want to level Kyiv, they can, he said of the Russian leadership. But the level of political and economic damage would be tremendous. For comparison, one of the largest urban battles this century was the 9-month siege of Mosul, Iraq, in 2016 and 2017 to oust its Islamic State occupiers. Mosul covers 70 square miles and had a wartime population of about 750,000 people, a fraction of the numbers for Kyiv, where the metropolitan area's pre-war population was 3.6 million. Kyiv, Ukraine. The city of Kyiv covers 325 square miles and is divided by a broad river. It has about 500,000 structures, factories, ornate churches and high-rise apartments, many on narrow, winding streets. Roughly 2 million people remain after extensive evacuations of women and children. To the northwest and to the east, tens of thousands of Russian troops are pressing toward the city, Ukraine's capital, backed by columns of tanks, armored vehicles and artillery. Inside Kyiv, Ukrainian soldiers and civilian volunteers are fortifying the downtown with barriers, anti-tank mines and artillery. Kyiv remains the biggest prize of all for the Russian military. It is the seat of government and ingrained in both Russian and Ukrainian identity. But capturing it, military analysts say, would require a furious and bloody conflict that could be the world's biggest urban battle in 80 years. The war in Ukraine has made Vladimir Putin one of the most hated figures in the world. But any attempt to remove him from office could unleash more violence inside Russia, says Moises Naim, author of The Revenge of Power: How Autocrats Are Reinventing Politics for the 21st Century. When backed into a corner, 3P dictators, according to Naim, rulers who encourage populism, polarization, and post-truth populations, will become even more brutal and repressive. Molly asks how countries like the United States can protect their democracy from autocratic populist leaders like Trump, especially with right-wing disinformation running rampant on social media. Epet says Putin will killed and tortured many people before he can step down from office. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.